Welcome back to The Fight. I'm Malik Zaire, and joining us now is 1964 Heisman Trophy winner and College Football Hall of Famer John Huarte. John, welcome to The Fight.
Well, thank you very much. And you're another fine quarterback, too. You had a great career at Notre Dame, and I was just reading about it today.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad to be in the same conversation as you. And so, John, I wanted to talk to you in your senior season. You was also coach of Ara Parseghian's first with the Fighting Irish. When Notre Dame was coming off one of the worst seasons in school history, what did Ara bring to the program that was missing to lead to a 9-1 season, arguably one of the greatest one-year turnaround forever at Notre Dame football?
He was very talented. Miami of Ohio, and the coaches related to that. The game has changed over the years, but he was a leader at that time in '64. Tom Pagna, John Ray, Doc Schultz, and several others, just fine coaches. But he was very organized. We had a strong spring practice. We did have personnel. We had quite a few guys who went in the pros. So Ara organized it, and off we went. Our first game was Wisconsin. They were heavily favored, and we beat them by about 3 touchdowns. Then we went right through the next 8 games and won them all. We did lose one game in the last few minutes to the Trojans, which hurts me to this day.
And in 1964, you made Notre Dame history when you became the university's 6th Heisman Trophy winner. What was that moment like for you at a time like that?
Well, it's really amazing. I was a totally unknown starting the beginning of the year, but we won game after game. I had a strong year. All the numbers were strong on passing and so on. And my name started to be mentioned after about the 7th or 8th game. And then I didn't pay too much attention to it because I was just concentrating on practicing well and playing well. And we did that. So it was quite a big surprise to me and the sports world that I ended up with Heisman Trophy. But we did have a schedule. We played 3 schools on the West Coast. We played Navy and Pittsburgh back east. Of course, the Midwest schools, Michigan State and Iowa and Purdue. So a lot of people saw our team. And I think that was an important reason that we got the votes.
Yeah, I mean, we were one of the few teams that were playing nationally at the time, and you're throwing for over 2,000 yards back then. And when you look past the past 3 Heisman winners, they each threw for 4,000 yards. So you won it with 2,000. Now you have to do double that just to get in the conversation. What do you make of the progression of the quarterback over these years?
Right. The numbers have really changed. It's wide open now.
No doubt, no doubt. And from quarterback to quarterback, let's talk about Notre Dame's all-time winningest QB, Ian Book. Are you surprised he hasn't been a bigger part of the conversation in this year's Heisman race?
Well, it's hard to say. It has to do with your schedule and exposure and TV exposure. He's an excellent quarterback. I think the chips will fall where they may. He's sure showing me that he can play very well. And I would expect that he might do very well in the next step.
Absolutely. Now, he got one step before that next step, and that's the game this weekend. It's a rematch, one that we all know that is coming down to. What does the Irish need to do, and specifically Ian, to ensure that we get this win this weekend?
Well, what I think about mainly is, a few things are bound to happen during a game. You can't let it bother you. Shake it off, go right back in, offense or defense, and make up for whatever that mistake was. Don't let it don't dwell on a mistake that might happen, because in the whole game you're bound to have a few things go wrong. Of course, possession of the ball, no interceptions, no fumbles, and fumbling is largely a mental thing. You got to get both arms on that, and you're just really tight with it when you're going into traffic. If you get a little loosey-goosey, for sure they'll rip it out.
And that's true words and true wise words from a former Heisman Trophy winner. And John, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.